What up? In today's tutorial, I will be doing a high skin fade with a little bit off the top, and I will be straightening up my client's beard as well. Just like every haircut, you always want to start by combing out the hair. Combing the hair in the direction that it grows. This just lifts the hair off the scalp and is easier for the guards to run through. And as you can see, my client have a calic right in the front of his edge up area. How I want to attack it, I want to comb it out in a direction that is growing, and I need to cut it in a direction that is growing. If I was to cut this calic in a direction that is not growing, I will leave a bald spot right in the middle of his edge up area. So just be very mindful when you are cutting calics. Just cut it in a direction that is growing. Next, I'm going to start with my first initial bald guideline right at the very bottom of his vertical bar area, and I'm going to run this line going straight across. I'm not going to do any drop. It's just going to be straight across. And these are my sabers that I'm using. These are my soft trimmers, which means it's not going to leave a harsh guideline. And my client cannot take the foil shaver, so the lowest I will be going down is just with the trimmer. My next step, I go lever open, and I'm going up about 1 inch, and I'm going straight across the head, keeping this guideline consistent. And for those who watch my videos, you know I like a nice stretch fade. I'm really not a fan of tight fades. The only time I would do one if a client requests it. And with a stretch fade, you get way more room to actually fade, and you get more of a blend. And that's what I like, and that's what I look for, so that's why I like stretch fades. Okay, next we're going to take out this bottom guideline. I'm going to start lever close, and I'm going to start to flick at that bottom line. Once I see it shift up for me, I'm going to open up my lever 1 notch, and I'm going to flick at the line again. Once I see the line shift up, I'm going to be halfway in my lever, and I should be at the very top of that guideline, and my line should be completely faded out. If the line is not out, then I would just go back and redo the same exact steps. If the line still doesn't come out, you would just pick up your trimmer, use the corner of the blade, and take out the rest of the line. Next, I go 1 guard close, and I'm going up about 1 inch as well. And I'm gonna have to go over this guideline multiple times just to make sure I have it down to its desired length. And you can see how much I'm stretching out this fade already. The fade is going to be high and it's going to be blurry. All right, next I throw in the half guard by wall, and I am halfway on my lever, which means I should be going up halfway into my guideline. Then I'm going to close my lever up 1 notch, and I'm going to go a little bit lower than I just were halfway. Now I'm going to close the lever up all the way, and now I should be at the very bottom of the guideline, flicking out the line. All right, next, since I knocked him down to a 1 guard on top, I threw back on my 1 guard to take out this last line. And I will not be using the 1.5 guard. The highest guard I will be using is my 1 guard. Now I will close the one, and I will go at the very bottom of the guideline, and I will just start to flick at it. I go to the line and I flick right out. But I know this 1 guard close will not take out this line. My next guard with the Babyliss 0.5 guard is going to take out the remaining line. Now I throw on the Babyliss 0.5 guard and clean up what's ever left. When I am done using this guard, I just move on to the other side and come back in detail later. And on this side, I'm just going to speed things up a little bit. And I just want to drop some gems, possibly that can help you guys take out the bottom line a lot easier and faster. Still to this day, I believe the bottom line is the most important guideline in your whole fade. You can give out a blurry fade, but if you still see a faint line with your bald guideline, it's going to throw off your whole fade, and something is not going to look right. First thing you can try, make sure your clippers are 0 gap properly. If your clippers are not 0 gap, you are going to struggle getting out that bottom line every single time. And if you are a beginning barber, or you are someone that struggles 0 gapping your tools, you can go on Amazon and you can purchase a 0 gapper for a clipper or a trimmer. And when you do zero gap your tools, just make sure you are testing the blade on your forearm to make sure it's not too sharp, because if you are cutting yourself, you will 100% cut your client. And something that helped me up my game taking out that bald guideline, I used to set in my bald guidelines with my zero gap trimmers, which means I'm setting in a harsh line and it's going to be harder for that guideline to come out. I started setting in my guidelines with a softer trimmer, which means it's not zero gapped. And I actually took the trimmer fresh out the box and pushed the cutting blade down a little bit more than it was factory set. So now with the combination of your clippers zero gap properly and having a pair of soft trimmers, you should be able to get out that line a lot more easier. But you still have to put them shots up and have a system. And I promise you, you will get way better at taking out these lines. And as you can see, I went through my system twice to try to take out this bottom guideline. It wouldn't come out. So I grabbed my trimmer and I used the corner of the blade to take out the remaining line. Whatever you put your line in with, that's the tool that you have to use to get that line out with. So now let's jump into the edge up. I grab my liquid razor. This is my holding spray. Then I come back with a brush to lay everything down. Then I come back with my cocoa trimmers. I plant dead smack in the middle for my balance. And I'm being very mindful of that calic that you see. So I'm going to try my best to work around it and not cut it so much. Then I'm going to start on his right side and make the straightest line I possibly can. Then I'm going to go to the other side and I'm going to start right back in the middle because that's where my balance is. Then I'm going to follow this line going straight across. And I'm not rushing. I'm not trying to force this line in. I'm taking my time. You know, it's art. You know, cutting hair is art, man. You don't ever want to rush an artist when they are working. So I'm just taking my time trying to get my boy crispy as possible. Now you see me just hitting the vertical bars, and these cocos are doing what they supposed to do. If you don't have a pair of these yet, man, go grab a pair. And this is how my client was looking natural, but he wanted enhancement, so I went ahead and applied some enhancements. I'm using my Beam Team compressor with the color Onyx Black No Drip Enhancements with the Sean Cuts Hair color enhancement card. And how I like to apply my enhancements, I don't like to spray it directly on the client's head. I like to hit the card and let the enhancements mist off the card to the client's head. And if you like any of these products that I be using, every product that I use is 245 down to the T. Whether it's the shaving gel, whether it's the clay, the texturizing powder, the fibers, the no drip, the Beam Team compressor, even the straight razor. You can hit the link in my description to get 10% off all Tune 45 products, or you can go to tune45.com and type in my discount code MOREFADES to get your 10% off. Next, we're going to jump right down to the beard. We're going to stretch the skin, angle the razor at a 45-degree angle, and just try to get his beard crispy as possible. Then I'm just going to comb right through the line, brush everything off, and I'm going to come back and hit the line one more time. Like, no matter if I'm doing my edge ups or my straight razor shaves, I always hit the line twice just to make sure my lines are crispy and symmetrical. Then I jump right back to the fade, and this is where I lock in, and y'all know how I feel about detailing. I come lever open, I go slow speed on my clipper, use the corner of the blade and knock out all them dark spots, and just taking my fade to the next level and giving him that McBlurry. And you can see this is how my guy came in looking. His beard needed lined up, he needed a fresh blurry fade. And it's just up to us barbers, you know, to get our clients right when they come in the shop looking like this. So I had to lock in and get my boy back in the game. And thanks everyone who watches. Thanks everyone who subscribed to my channel. We on the road to 1,000 subs. If you like any tools that I use in this video, the links will be down in the description below. Don't forget to use my discount code MOREFADES at $245 at checkout. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I see you boys on the next haircut tutorial. It's your boy MOREFADES, and I'm out here.